Okay, so I guess we're heading to Pastel's place now. Though I guess we're not. Are we going to his? Well, I mean, does he live in the shop? I wonder. I wonder if Pastel lives in the shop. Maybe, but well, we're not really going to his house. I guess we're really going to his workplace. I think. Anyway, I hadn't had a chance to return to Altalia Suites since first meeting Pastel. He was the one always showing out on my doorstep. After all, there was no need. It's about time I paid him a visit, yes? I could restock my favorite candies as well. Upon reaching Atelier Suites, though, I hesitate. Would it be rude to barge in while he's working? I just know I wouldn't be able to resist teasing him. As to not become a nuisance, I shall make my presence known from here. Periwinkle boldly approaches the bench directly from the candy shop and sits down, all while wearing Pastel's forgotten jacket. And now we wait. A few minutes pass. I can see Pastel through the shop window. He's currently preoccupied with a customer. Luckily, I brought a lunch, a simple peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You know, I never eaten peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I like sandwiches. I've often do eat sandwiches for lunch for a big chunk of my life. But I don't know. I when I was a kid, I've been told that I had a peanut allergy. I don't know if it's true or not. At this point, I just never knew. I don't remember eating like peanuts because I remember eating peanuts before and then I didn't get sick or anything. But that was way later. Do you like grow out allergies? I wonder. I don't know. I feel like there was some kind of like peanut allergy scare, you know, back when I was a kid. Whether or not you actually have the allergy. I mean, obviously, if you do, though, it definitely it is like a problem. But I feel like my parents just thought I had the allergy, like just to be on the safe side. So I just never got the chance to eat any peanut butter. No, peanut butter. So I never actually eaten a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, even though it's a very popular sandwich. PB and J, you know. Wasn't there like a song like that? Peanut butter jelly time. Anyway. Well, he noticed me before I finish it. The customer's walking out now. Our eyes met. Pastel turns away, pacing a bit. I take another bite of my sandwich, still watching intently. He stops for a moment in front of the door behind the register, until finally making his way out of the store, broom in hand. But instead of coming over right away, he turns his back to me, sweeping the sidewalk in front of the entrance. Perhaps he has a strict supervisor. He keeps glancing over his shoulder. Just come over here, you silly boy. You silly boy. His face is quite red, so I can say with confidence I've successfully overwhelmed him once again. I've pranked him. I finish my sandwich by the time he approaches. He takes a seat on the opposite side of the bench. You know, I don't know. By the way, I've been doing kind of, pseudo voices. I don't know what they sound like to me. Periwinkle and Pastel. I only assume Periwinkle sounds like this. I don't know. To me, he's like a mischievous type. Like an imp, I guess. Like this. Yeah, some imp. And then Pastel, I gave him kind of like a deeper voice. I remember actually. I don't know if he has like a deep voice though. I just assume. I remember giving a bit of a deep voice when I initially played Syrup in the Ultimate Suite, so that's kind of the voice I gave him. I don't know. I don't know how these two actually sound. I don't know what Nomnomnavi's like vision is, for their voices, but this is just what I assume they sound like. Anyway. I thought you were ignoring me. No, I was just trying to decide what to do. Was this a bad time to return your jacket? Not the worst time. Miracle unzips the jacket and shovels out of it, casually folding it onto his lap. I found it whilst I was cleaning up the place. I suppose I could have waited for you to return, but since I was in the area... Right. Sorry, it's my fault for leaving it behind in the first place. Pastel can barely look me in the eye. It doesn't stop him from stealing glances at what I'm wearing. Who could resist that? I wore my cutest dress for this. I mean, you kind of wear the same dress, actually. Anyway. Unless it's super cute. Maybe it has like cute magic, You never know. There's like illusion magic on it. Something seems a little off, though. He's usually a bundle of nerves, yes, but this is a bit much. I'll get right to the point then. Oh, Pastel, you don't have to plan excuses just to visit me. No, actually, Periwinkle is wearing something different. I guess it wasn't obvious just from, because when he accessorized and everything, it looked a little bit different, but I guess he is wearing something That's different from what he usually wears anyway. Visits just to visit me. I wasn't planning anything. I just forgot it on my way out. I find that hard to believe. Considering you forgot exactly one thing each time you visit, really, you should be more honest. Sorry. Thank you for returning it. Oh, it's my pleasure. It gave me a good excuse to see your flustered little face again. Periwinkle sets the jacket on the empty space between them and rises to take his leave. But Pastel gently grasps his wrist before he goes. Perry, I am sorry I made you think I was ignoring you. I was only teasing, my sweet. Still, I'm not really ready to be open about who I see outside of work. I like to keep things very discreet. I don't want to have to explain anything to my friends. I'd die of embarrassment. So that's why. Well, understood. I'm actually used to being someone's little secret. That didn't sound quite right. What I'm trying to say, I don't mind at all. From now on, I'll just continue to let you come to me. Thank you. Sorry. I don't know what you keep apologizing for, Pastel. I'll see you around, yes? Pastel nods and finally lets go of his wrist. A misstep. A huge misstep. I should have guessed it from the hints he's given. Just a few things he said here and there. It was enough to put it together, wasn't it? The most obvious one being that he always comes to me and not the other way around. Our comfortable pattern that I recklessly interrupted. I should have known from previous encounters with closeted individuals. Closeted. What's supposed to be a fun surprise appearance can turn so quickly into a desperate rally to cling to normalcy, carefully constructed lies to conceal the piece of yourself that may not be accepted, whether it's by an individual themselves or by their loved ones. Certainly an unenviable position to find oneself in. Pastel and I have been seeing a lot of each other during this past month. Was this the inevitable breaking point then? It can only become more complicated from here. It was going so perfectly for so long. Perhaps I'm being overdramatic. I haven't grown tired of him at all, which is precisely the problem. Unwilling to return home so soon, I walk in the direction of the apothecary. Astragalus will be able to knock some sense into me. She always does. Uh-oh. Relationship problems, it's I don't know. I mean, you could definitely draw some parallels, I guess, but he's a little embarrassed to show off his boyfriend, or I don't know if they're officially quote-unquote boyfriends, but, basically. Astragalus, are you busy? I know that whine. You shifted into dramatic bitch mode. Dramatic bitch mode, eh? DBM. Take pity on me, I'm having a bad day. Alright, you baby. Tell me what happened. Things are slow today anyhow. Astragalus listened patiently as I explained the events of the day. I've learned to come straight to her whenever I find myself unable to make a decision. Although she often put things far too bluntly, I do always end up feeling more grounded after her consolation. So you're upset because you overstepped his bounds. Accidentally, you always leave out key information. And now you think it's over between you two? When you put it like that, I really do sound dramatic. I mean, you are, but you also have a point. If you want to avoid things getting complicated, this is your sign to get out. I gotta say though, for guys who aren't in a committed relationship, you sure do sound like you're in one. It's purely casual. I've still been seeing a few others in the midst of this. But all you talk about is Pastel every time you come in here. I know. I just wish I hadn't gone to return the jacket. It was supposed to be fun, but now... Yeah, honestly, I think he's being unfair. He shows up to your place whenever he wants, right? Yes, but I don't have anything else going on. He has a respectable job and all. Sounds like you just have less self-respect, and this guy isn't treating you right. No, that's unfair. He simply said he wasn't ready. It doesn't mean... making excuses now. You really are hung up on him. This is too hilarious to watch. Enough, I simply cannot help it. It was just the cutest thing. Of course, I don't want to stop seeing him. At that moment, a familiar chime sounded, marking a customer's arrival. I turned my head instinctively to see... Jam. Oh yeah, Jam is the other character from, I believe, First Kiss at the Spooky Soiree or whatever. She was like the best friend of the main character of that game. There was a route actually where you just, because the idea, I mean, if you didn't know, if you didn't play the game before, I guess you're supposed to find someone to, date in that party, a Halloween party or whatever. And you come with your best friend and everything, but you can actually just choose to just stay with your best friend, So that's the thing. I actually find that the cutest, but anyway. Periwinkle, oh my god, you look so cute today. Why, thank you. I certainly expect to see you, Jam. Astragalus walks in the back room, still laughing at Periwinkle's expense. I've been coming here to buy your magic. Remember when you did a little demo for everyone at that one party? You totally sold me out in back then. I've done a few, so I can't recall, but I'm happy to hear regardless. Actually, I don't remember. Did that happen? I wonder if that happened in the old version. Again, there's like the old version and new version. It was this like weird thing where like the original version got updated in the mobile platforms, and then later it got patched in the PC version. But you know, I never really went back, you know, and saw the other routes. You know, it's just I don't know. I don't know if it was worth it just to see like just some extra content, you know. Anyway, so what are you doing here? On a date or on a job? No date today. I ruined my chance of that. Oh man, what? That's such a bummer. Really never thought I'd hear today you of all people couldn't get a date though. You date like everyone. It'd be more accurate to say I go on dates with everyone rather than actually date them. Oh, same diff. You're like the thirst master. Thirst master. Yes, that's true. She's right. It's not as pastel as my only option if I'm looking for a good time. Anyway, are you going to Sheriff's party tonight? No, this is the first I've heard of it. He's throwing yet another soiree? Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't know. I suppose I've been more out of the loop on these things than usual. I haven't bothered with as many parties since. Well, you should come. They're good luck, like in terms of love and romance. I mean, I'm finally dating my best friend, thanks to that last one. Wait a minute, is that the canonical? Is that the canonical ending to the Spooky soiree? Because I like that one the best. Anyway. Marzipan, wasn't it? You were together before that. I knew everyone thought we were. So embarrassing. I guess what matters is that we could finally be totally honest with each other, though. I'm really happy. Well, congratulations. You deserve that happiness. Yeah, so, like, if you ever need a relationship advice, I'm your gal. Oh, but I guess you wouldn't, since you don't actually date anyone. Periwinkle hears a straggler snorting with laughter in the back room. How dare she? I came here to be comforted, not ridiculed. Jam, dear, what time do you say that party started? Oh, like, a few hours from now, I think? Sorry, I can't even remember the time difference between here and the Netherworld. You know, it's just time zones, you know, it's such a mystery. No matter, these things tend to go all night. I prefer to arrive fashionably late. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to return home to freshen up before this soiree. I remember not knowing how to pronounce that. Is that right? Soiree, right? It's French, I guess. Sure, see you later. See you there. Soiree. Or am I... Because I remember, like, I feel like I said that wrong the first time, and then I looked it up, and it's like, actually, you say it a different way. But, like, am I saying correctly, or am I saying the wrong way again? Anyway, Periwinkle marches home in a huff. Astragalus thinks I'm lacking self-respect. I'll show her. I'm gonna go to a party, because I'm an extrovert. This is what happens. This is how I cope. I'm gonna find someone to spoil me tonight. Netherworld parties happen to be the perfect venue. Always full of the cute faces I haven't yet encountered. Plenty of incubi as well. They live to please their partners. Oh boy, I remember, yeah, there was like a incubus people, I guess, in that game. It's not as loose as you think, though. But anyway, it's been a while since I slept with Demon. I'm looking forward to this now. But then again, I can get lewd. You know what? I'm gonna put my angel. Yes, this is how it works. You know, ironically, you put your angel costume on, despite looking for incubi to sleep with. Is that how you pronounce it, by the way? Incubi? Anyway. And so a few hours later, Periwinkle arrives at the soiree. Ah, yes. I remember these people. I don't know who this person is. I don't know who these are. I remember her. Yeah, Jam and the dog girl. I remember the dog. Oh yeah, and the moss battle. I remember them. I wonder if the outlines are references to anyone. Not sure. I remember the hentai protagonist. You know, because the hair is, you know, always blocks the eyes. Let's see who's available. Scanning the room, he spots both Jam and Shervo happily chatting with the other guests. Shervo himself certainly isn't a bad lay, but I couldn't go stealing the host of the party. It certainly isn't a bad lay. You know, it really is. You know, that's what I've been like trying to like put into words. Periwinkle really is the thirst master. Periwinkle begins to gravitate toward the snack table, still scoping out the various partygoers. Plenty of candidates to choose from, however will I decide? Before he can make up his mind about who to approach, a taller demon slides in the empty space beside him to start a conversation. Okay, Cardamon? Lots of cute witches at the soiree, huh? So it's been decided for me. I'm already being spoiled. I didn't come here for the witches. Huh. I'm Cardamon. Periwinkle. So, this is gonna sound weird, but do I know you from somewhere? Your dreams, perhaps? Nah, for real. Something about your face is just so familiar. I frequent these type of events, so it's likely we cross paths at some point. That's not it. I would have tried hitting on you if we did. Well, you're certainly free to do so now. I'll give it a shot, if your permission. This one isn't bad. I do appreciate how straightforward he's being. So, what are you here for, if not the witches? I had intended to find someone to spoil me, and ink by a rumor to be good for exactly that. We are. So the rumors are true. I'm in luck then. Would you happen to have any friends who'd be interested in dancing with a cute little witch like me? I could ask around. Or better idea, you could just settle for me. I suppose you'll do. I present my hand and Cardamon gives an exaggerated bow. He pulls me in a bit a little clumsily with his gigantic demon hands, just big incubus demon hands. I always enjoy to be swept up in the arms of a larger man. Oh boy. My own hands almost entirely consumed by his, unlike with pastels, which fit so... Pastel? Am I still comparing everyone to him? I shake till I return to the moment. The pair twirls around the dance floor, losing themselves in the music. After a while, Cardamon suddenly speaks up. Oh, I think I just realized where I know you from. Really now? Yeah, you were in the magazine I work for. I'm an editor. We used your photos for an issue a couple years back. Ah, what a coincidence. I did used to do some modeling in the past. And the past shall remain. I'm in a different line of work now. Oh, really? That's too bad. I always thought you looked amazing. I appreciate that. But it certainly complicates things. I much prefer to have been complete strangers. How unfortunate, just when I was beginning to enjoy myself. Wow, I can't believe I ran into you like this. Maybe it's a sign. A sign of what, dare I ask? That you should come back to modeling. I could get you in our magazine again if you're interested, that is. I appreciate the offer, but I've moved on. It put too much of a strain in my relationship with fashion, among other things. Well, at least take my card, in case you change your mind. No thank you, I don't see that happening. Oh, come on. You'd be so great, it feels like such a waste of talent. I'm quickly growing tired of this. You're annoying me now. Thank you for the dance, but I really should be going now. Huh? Oh, sure. This is fun. Perhaps we'll meet again sometime. Yeah. Well, you messed that one up, Cardamon. Shouldn't be so pushy about your line of work. Anyway, I didn't expect to be reminded by modeling days of all things. Although his excitement was understandable, the way he went about it certainly ruined the mood. I hate to admit it, but I'd gone into this night far too unstable to begin with. What's such a small thing to get to me? I'm not even here on my own terms, am I? This was all to prove a point. That's certainly not in the spirit of a friendly soiree. It's best I just return home and... Periwinkle, wait! He turns his head to find that Cardamon has chased after him, stumbling into the lonely night air. Hey, I'm sorry if I said anything to upset you. Upset me? Perish the thought. It's simply that I'm feeling a little off tonight. I realize I may have come here for the wrong reasons. Look, I'm sorry that I suddenly started talking about work. That wasn't why I approached you at all. You came here for a good time, right? Well, a party's definitely the place to find it. Heck, it's what I'm here for too, so you're not wrong to come looking for that. He's completely misread the situation, although it is starting to look salvageable from here. Anyway, please forget about the magazine stuff. It doesn't matter. We were having fun before that, right? Dancing was nice, yes. I want to do more than just dance with you. There it is, now we're getting somewhere. More than dance, what could that mean? Well, don't make me spell it out. A kiss, perhaps? Sure, and well, whatever else you like to do. As an incubus, I live to please. How's this How's this being incubus? I mean, I imagine there's a succubus and incubus in this universe. How does that work? You know, anyway. Since he apologized, I may as well. Kissing is a fine start. Cardamom holds out his arm, inviting Periwinkle to a soft embrace. Periwinkle's hands glide up his chest and wraps his arms around the demon's neck. Their faces just inches apart. He pauses. I expected him to close the gap. Pastel would have kissed me. I've grown far too accustomed to that, so I automatically... shit, this was a mistake. Periwinkle gives him a light peck on the cheek before pulling away. My apologies. I do actually need to get going now. Huh? I shouldn't have led you on. I'm terribly sorry. Oh, no. Don't worry about that. If you don't want to, it's fine. I'm a little confused, though. Did I do something wrong? Do I have, like, bad breath or something? It's not you. It's not you. It's me. No, it's not you. You're very nice. Very firm muscles. Thanks. If it were any other night, things would have gone very differently. Please believe me when I say that. Seriously, is all this mysterious talk supposed to make me want you less? I'm sure you'll have great luck with witches inside. You're very charming. Damn. Well, alright. Get home safe, Periwinkle. Hope to see you again on any other night, like you said. Thank you for keeping me entertained. Farewell. No luck with the Periwinkle. From his perspective, you know, it's like, whoop, oh well. I shouldn't have come. What exactly have I proven here tonight? I'm willing to pursue the first pink-haired boy I come across out of sheer desperation. You are the Thirstmaster. I want to ask Stragulus to be wrong for once, to admit that I'm hung up on someone. It's just... I don't feel like myself at all. Virgo arrives home, lazily slipping out of his shoes and dress. He tosses his hat somewhere and collapses on the couch. I feel even more miserable than before. Periwinkle finds himself staring from the door, half expecting to hear a familiar knock. The state Pastel would find me in here if he were to show up tonight. I should get in bed. But he doesn't. Instead, he buries his face in the cushions and falls asleep. Chapter 4, Peach Blossoms. A lot of chapters, you know, overall. Periwinkle bolts awake to the sound of a knock at his door. What time is it? He rises from the couch and lately treads over to check who might be visiting him so early in the morning. At first, I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. It took several moments to register the fact that Pastel was on my doorstep. The knocking comes again, snapping out of my stupor. One moment, please. Periwinkle gathers up the clothes he left on the floor and stuffs them out of sight. Next, he scrambles to the bathroom to check his makeup. Passable considering the circumstances. Wrapping a blanket around his shoulders in an attempt to look half decent, he finally opens the door. Hi, I took the day off, so Sorry, did I wake you up? Yes, I had a late night. Come in, I'll be ready in just a moment. Pastel's here, but why is he here? A day off? Not that he has a day off, but he chose to take it and then came here? Let's just put that aside for now. I need to get dressed. You know, again, cell phones, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there could be like a lot of like just inconvenient scheduling. If people just show, I don't know. I mean, that's what people did back in the day, back in my day. You know, people just showed up, I guess, and knocked on the door. But what happens if you just took a day off, but like Periwinkle wasn't around? You know, it's like you just wasted the day off, I feel like. Because I feel like Pastel's taking a day off in particular, you know, to like talk to Periwinkle. But anyway. Periwinkle scurries back to his bedroom to change while Pastel waits politely by the door. So your day off, And you chose to visit me? I'm flattered. Well, it's not just a visit. I was hoping to, take you on a date. Oh, a date? Usually we reserve those for dinner time, haven't we? I wanted to make up for yesterday. So if you didn't have any other plans, I was thinking we could just hang out for a while. Sure, I don't mind, but what exactly is there to make up for, my sweet? You know, how I told you not to come back to the shop even though you only showed up to do me a favor. He has it completely backwards. Periwinkle pokes his head out from the bedroom to look Pastel in the eye. Au contraire. More French? I don't know how to pronounce French words. Au contraire, right? Au contraire? Pastel, I should be the one to apologize for putting you in such an uncomfortable position. I shouldn't have shown up unannounced. It wasn't my intention to cause you any actual discomfort. No, I don't think I clarified my boundaries from the beginning, so that's not your fault at all. Then it seems everything's fine now. Perhaps I could get used to those boundaries better during our date then. Why does it sound suggestive when you say it? Periwinkle retreats back to his room with a smile. This boy has truly caught me off guard. I'm almost frustrated that the spiral of guilt and confusion I lost myself in yesterday could be resolved so quickly. Yeah, it's just communication. The one thing that doesn't really happen often in a lot of fictional stories. So that's all it was. I had merely been fixating on my mistake. It had nothing to do with Pastel per se. He just happened to be the one at the center of it, so of course all my attention was unnecessarily directed toward him. There's no problem then, which means as usual I can enjoy our date to the fullest extent. Well, do tell me where we're headed. I'll need to know if I'm going to pick something to wear. Oh, you haven't had breakfast yet, have you? Let's get something to eat first. Actually, could you come here for a moment? Yes? I thought it might be fun to have you choose what outfit I wear. Are you sure? The clean clothes are in that pile, dear. Okay, Pastel begins to sort through the pile of skirts and dresses, taking extra care to fold the ones he sets aside. How about these? He approaches the folding screen and holds the clothes out to the side for Periwinkle to take. Oh, these are nice picks, but no underwear? Weren't you already wearing some? So scandalous, Pastel. I didn't know you had it in you. Please, I'll find you a pair. I'm only teasing, my sweet. It's just like... I'm shaking my head. Periwinkle finally walks out, fully dressed. Well, isn't he cute? Ready to go. Pastel looks him up and down cautiously. You're wearing some, right? We'll just have to find out later tonight, won't we? Perry. Alright. No, actually, no, I didn't know this before, but no, the accessories are the same. It's just the clothes might be different. Anyway. Dark earrings, light earrings, blue flowers, fairy wings. Just do that. What a lovely day for a date. We walk side by side, Pastel with his hands stuffed into oversized pockets. So cute. He's in the perfect position to be clinged to, but I must refrain. I doubt he'd be comfortable with me hanging out all over him in broad daylight. Besides, there's no need to jump into such overt affections just yet. When we reach the cafe, Pastel orders us some donuts to share. Yeah, some jelly donuts. Just some jelly donuts that's suspiciously shaped like onigiri, but anyway. I wonder what else he has planned. He only mentioned hanging out. Who knows what that could entail? I don't know, I'll just hang out. I literally just hang out. Munching away at our breakfast, I study his face for clues. He really is so cute. I remember the choker he wore on our first date as well. And that's the same beret he left behind after one of our sleepovers. Such pointed choice in accessories. Beret. I think beret is like the hair clip? Is that what it is? When I think of beret, though, I think of because I think of Final Fantasy. In Final Fantasy, the beret is like a thing you wear, like a headband, I think? Or, I don't know, I might be wrong. Anyway. Now my staring has embarrassed him. You're too easily flustered, my sweet. Forgive me for staring. I was trying to intuit what you might have planned for us after this. Oh, no, nothing in particular. Wandering around town is enough for me. I see. Loitering does facilitate conversation quite well. As long as we're out and about, we won't end up, Oh, is he gonna say it? Of course not. I actually like when we get to talk. I mean, not that we don't when I sleep over, it's just a different kind. Different kind of, talk. What kind of talk do you do? True. Sorry, now I feel like I'm talking too much. No, my sweet, I have to say, I rather enjoy our chance as well. Even you can't resist cutting them short once we're behind closed doors. I'm really sorry. He's simply too much fun, but there's no time for my usual teasing. Can't forget what brought us here. This is the perfect opportunity to become more deeply acquainted. I'll learn all about Pastel so I don't end up crossing the line again. In the interest of defining boundaries, are there any subjects I should avoid bringing up with you? On that note, has there ever been anything I've said that's caused you discomfort in the slightest? Please don't hold back. Nothing really comes to mind. I mean, I've always felt pretty comfortable around you, so we could probably talk about anything and it'd be okay. Anything, really? Surely you must have some sensitive topics you like to avoid, like pineapple on pizza. Yes or no? I guess so, but I wouldn't really be worried about talking about them with you. Actually, you might be the most attentive person I've ever met. Maybe that's why I'm not worried at all. I'm glad to hear that. Though you certainly piqued my interest, or my curiosity. What kinds of sensitive topics, if you don't mind me asking? Like, for example, you've never made me feel weird about gender stuff. I certainly hope not. That was a bit sensitive for me as well. See, that's why it feels okay to talk about it with you. I'm not very masculine, so I get mistaken for a girl every now and then. Not that it's something I get mad about or anything, I've always dealt with it ever since I was little. I don't know. I don't know. Pastel, I feel like is typical anime boy. Maybe it's the pink hair. Maybe it's the pink hair that causes it. Anyway, I still think it bothers me in particular since, I'm intersex. Really. Right. I want to be recognized as a boy, but I like wearing feminine clothes too. Yes, that's it exactly. I feel this very same. Right? Like, I don't want to be limited to presenting only one way, even though I'm fine with boyish clothes too. For me, it's simply about looking beautiful. I dress to fit my ideal. Wasn't there like a character like that as well? It reminds me of a character. Periwinkle, reminds me of another character, but I can't remember who it is. But I feel like somebody somewhere said that too, like, all they care about is looking beautiful, not necessarily look feminine or masculine, they just think whatever is beautiful, they wear it. So that's why. I don't know, anyway. It's like one particular, anime character, I think, that said that. Maybe? Was it an anime? I can't remember. Anyway, it's not a matter of gender, but aesthetic preference. These are the clothes I feel best in. You, look really good in them, too. Why, thank you, and I must say, your sense of style never fails to impress. I'm glad you like it. Pastel sips his drink while Periwinkle continues. When I was young, I didn't have the confidence to dress so beautifully. Can you even imagine it? You without confidence? No, I'm not sure that's possible. Right, I suppose I was a different person back then. When I grew up, things were much more black and white. You're either a boy or a girl and you had to dress accordingly. That sounds harsh. It very much was. I was completely miserable. Perhaps it's because I come from that sort of environment that I wanted to be known. I look this glamorous as a boy. Not to say that this is easy for any gender. I only wish my efforts to be acknowledged. I think that's just your competitive spirit again. See, you truly understand me. They laugh together. Periwinkle relaxes into his chair and finishes his drink with a big smile on his face. Pastel and I depart from the cafe and make our way down the street. With no destination in mind, the details of our surroundings, things I've never really paid any mind to, make themselves known. Aromas from the bakery, the flower shop, the patisserie, that's how you say it? Patisserie. Each distinct and enticing. I'm left with a peaceful feeling as we pass each of them by. Now there's a fun idea. A scent that transforms over time, giving you a sense of place. But I shouldn't be thinking about work while I'm on a date. I turn my attention back to Pastel. Now, with gender thoroughly discussed, the next personal question will have to be, sexuality. Which that part gets you the most hot and bothered? You can't just shout those words in the middle of a crowd. Oh, who's even listening? I certainly wasn't shouting. Please don't talk about that stuff too loudly. People will start giving us weird looks. Shall I whisper into your ear then? That's even worse. Now who's shouting? Pastel glances around, but despite his outburst, Periwinkle was right. No one had turned him away. Sorry, I guess it's okay. Feel free to stop me if I'm being too much, yes? There's nothing wrong with being a little too much. I imagine you say so. Returning to the topic at hand, I've been with all sorts of partners. I say I can appreciate just about anyone. But I must admit, I prefer witch boys above all else. Is that like a thing? I don't know. That's also like a thing. Witch boys, like witch sexual. Is that just a thing in this universe? Like in particular, witch. Like a witch is like a subset of gender as well. Anyway, I don't know if that's how it works. I would also say witch boys. No, care to elaborate, my sweet? No, that's all I have to say on the matter. I have to tease it out of you later then. Okay. Wasn't Pastel? I remember Pastel was so mysterious. It's funny because I remember the character was kind of mysterious in the original game where he came from. Syrup in the Ultimate Sweep. I think it's implied that he's like super powerful. He's like a super like edgy, like over 9,000 super duper like Superman witch sort of. But like he hides that, because I don't know. In my head canon, he like saved the world or something one time and destroyed giant monsters. But like that now he's just like embarrassed about being teased on this random other witch boy. Anyway, we follow along the twisting streets of the shopping district, looking in each of the windows as we pass them by. At least that's how I remember Pastel. I don't know. My image of Pastel is completely changed now. This is my favorite part of town, filled with all the high-end boutiques you could dream of. The mannequins from one of them catch my eye, and I lightly grab Pastel's sleeve to draw his attention. You look so good in that, don't you think? Really? I don't know if something so extravagant would really suit me. Nonsense, you could pull it off. The accents match your eyes. I guess they do. But you look great in that one too. Oh, and that one. You're pointing to everything. Yes, well, the alternative would be to say that I'd like to see you in nothing at all. Do you go clothes shopping often? You have such a variety of cute looks. Oh, every now and then, but I can't afford the kinds of stuff they sell here. It is rather pricey, but the brands are worth it. I don't know about that. I don't know. I really don't know anything about fashion. I just end up picking whatever stands out to me. I always feel like, when you talk about brands, are brands worth it? Often I always see alternatives. Or I mean, isn't there like a thing where, I don't know for sure, but like shoes, for example, certain shoes just cost more than other shoes when they're just made from the same factory, just made from the same materials, really. It's only the brand name that makes it so costly. People just buy it for the I don't know, the social clout or something, I feel like practically speaking, the brand shouldn't matter. At least to a point, I guess. I don't know. It was like super cheap, then maybe not. If you just buy it like a flea market, I guess. But otherwise, if a brand is like so costly, I feel like that's just the name. You're buying for the name itself, and what's the point? I don't know. Anyway, as it should be, you're better off not becoming obsessed with these things. It certainly isn't easy on the wallet. It's very expensive. I remember like I had like a coworker actually that was obsessed with shoes. It really is like the equivalent. I don't know. Like I guess for me, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. People obsess over different things. I mean, obviously, I obsess over video games, I guess, as well. But definitely had a coworker that obsessed a lot with shoes. Like these shoes are better because they have like, I don't know, super cloud technology. It makes them more comfortable. They're way more expensive and blah blah blah. It's like it just like, I don't know. It just flew over my head. Anyway, I'll leave the brand name stuff to you then. Just seeing them is enough for me. Just seeing them, not stripping them off of me. After a little fashion circuit, we end up near the cafe where we started. I certainly worked him up enough to take home right away, but that would mean cutting our date short, and what a shame that would be. I skip ahead of Pastel and twirl around to face him. There's somewhere I'd like to take you. Huh? Sure. I realize I've seen your workplace, but you haven't seen mine. It's a little apothecary I sell my magic to for distribution. An apothecary? I thought you sold perfumes. Well, technically that's all they are. I don't claim they deliver any lasting health benefits. Some witches do that. You shouldn't listen to them. They're more for healing the mind. Anxiety, stress, and other unpleasant feelings can be lifted away with just the right aromas. It's more effective for some than others, but for those sensitive to such things, it can make quite a difference. And now I fear I've bored you all this uninteresting work chatter. No, that's not it at all. I was just thinking. It's really admirable that your magic can be used to help people like that. All I have is death magic. I summon meteors. I mean, what? Admirable? Selling candy, I think, makes people happy too. Maybe that's what's fun about it. Not that I ever claim our candy is healthy either. If anything, you might get cavities. The witch who owns the apothecary really liked the sample I passed along to her. Perhaps she'll ask to distribute your candies as well. Distribute? That's a typo. Anyway, My boss would never agree to that. Oh, he was about to say syrup, right? Syrup. Syrup was the main character, or was she the main character? I guess she was. Well, I think she was the main character. I mean, there was two main characters. There's like the candy golem. She was kind of like the main character, but I guess you would control the syrup. I guess the alchemist, the candy alchemist. Anyway, I'd be happy to see it. Lead the way. Very well, follow me. When we enter the apothecary, it looks to be completely empty. Astragalus usually sits in the back room, consuming her work until she hears the chime of a customer entering. If you ask me, she could really use another helper to liven up the place. But I suppose the hustle and bustle of an ever-busy shop would have its own setbacks. Feel free to look around. I'm going to go and greet the owner. Sure. Periwinkle leans over the counter to peek into the back room. Astragalus, you have a customer. Oh, Periwinkle. Wouldn't expect to see you back so soon. I brought Pastel. We're on a date. Okay. Okay, you... She looks over at Pastel, who waves when he notices he's being watched, as Astragalus turns back to Periwinkle. I take it you decide not to heed my advice. What advice? Why bother coming to me if you're just gonna do whatever you want? Well, whatever. Is there a reason you're here? I thought I'd drop by to give you a little update. As you can see, everything is fine now. Sure. Very normal of you to suddenly bring one of your dates here. Is it not? I visit you all the time. Yeah, not for stuff like this. Anyway, I wanted you to meet Pastel. Pastel, come over here. Startled by suddenly being called upon, Pastel fumbles the bottle he was holding and crashes it into the floor. You gotta pay for that. Huh. Hey, you break it, you buy it. Sorry, I can fix it. Pastel sweeps the pieces of the bottle into a pile along with his powdered contents. He holds his hands over the pile, like glowing at magic, and the other then watches it reassembles perfectly before them. You just do that? Why? Magic is so convenient. Impressive. He's done it so quickly. There, good as new. I don't know. Is there like a 5-second rule? You know how like you drop food in the kitchen? I mean, people say there's a 5-second. I mean, obviously, 5-second rule is a myth. No matter what, there's gonna get bacteria's gonna get on it. But I mean, like, isn't like a bit of dust and hair gonna get in the contents of that bottle? How does that work? Anyway, bring it here. I'm sure. Sorry. I can't help but feel I've put Pastel in yet another uncomfortable situation. Damn. Can't even tell who's ever busted up. This kind of your magic, your specialty? Not really. I only learned it because I thought it'd come in handy. Huh. Astragalus continues expecting the bottle and then takes it in the back room without saying another word. Wow, I suppose she was impressed too. Is she mad at me? I can't really tell. Looks like you were spared today. That spell really saved you. I can't believe I did that. I'm not usually this clumsy, I swear. Oh, but wouldn't it be adorable if you were? Pastel the klutz. No, I'm just gonna wait outside. Don't be too hard on yourself. I promise you made a better impression than you think. Pastel walks out of the apothecary and I lean against the counter, waiting for Astragalus to re-emerge from the back room. But when she does, it's with a bag full of, well, I'm not quite sure. Where'd your boyfriend go? You shouldn't call him that. Might I ask, what is it you're holding? Busted lamp. I've been meaning to glue it back together myself until I saw the opportunity to save myself the trouble. How offensive. Take it to the repair shop like everyone else. Nah, waste some money. You better keep that boy around, he's useful. You certainly changed your tune. He's cute. I get a good vibe from him. Also, he's gonna make me a lot of money when I start charging for like a repair service or something. I don't know, Anyway, bring it back sometime so I can get this lamp fixed, got it? He won't be doing that. Seriously though, where I'm from, we were taught that you can tell a lot about a witch from their magic. And his, very empathetic. Or empathetic, sincere, compassionate. Well, you aren't wrong, but how can you judge that sort of thing after witnessing one little spell? Wouldn't you like to know? I don't need your superstitions. I have a date to get back to. Alright, have fun, Periwinkle. Oh, I very much intend to. Smiling to himself, Periwinkle strides confidently out the door to where Pastel is waiting. Hey, do I still need to pay for that bottle? Oh, she didn't mention it. I'm glad I could fix it. I was worried it might be expensive. Oh, you never told me you were so good with magic. As I recall, you said you've been living without it. Yeah, mostly. Unless I need to pay for something, I guess then he uses it to save his own ass. I won't get into any reasons why, but I got back into studying it recently. A straggler certainly thought you were talented. I'm impressed too, of course. Thanks. If only I could use magic to stop myself being a klutz. Oh, are you embracing that nickname now? No, please go back to saying my sweet. My sweet though is also a bit much. If you like that one so much, I suppose I have no choice. I just meant... Oh, never mind. Don't call me anything. Alright. Anything. Hello, anything. My name is Dad. No, Pastel. We resume our stroll around town. This time, it's Pastel who takes the lead. He seems to have some place in mind, but hasn't said as much. He merely takes my hand and leads me up a labyrinth of stairs. And once we reach the top of Tartarus, then we have to fight demons with... No, a gust of wind swoops through the trees overhead, showering us in flower petals. Actually, demons in this world are actually nice people. When I say demons, I mean I was trying to make a Persona 3 reference. Anyway, a gust of wind swoops through the trees overhead, showering us in flower petals. Ah, peach blossoms. It's nice, isn't it? I can't help but think you're trying to tell me something right now. Huh? Don't you remember? My aphrodisiac was also peach-scented. Ah, I wasn't thinking about that. I was just trying to think of other places we could go, and this one came to mind. It's lovely. Very romantic. Straight up a shoujo manga, honestly. How does he know I'm weak to such things? It's like soccer. It reminds me, actually, the cherry blossoms always just remind me of a movie called 5 centimeters per second. That's a romance movie, technically. It's also very sad. Anyway, it's one of my favorite movies. We don't have to stay. I mean, we've already walked around so much. It's okay if you want to head back now. Not to do things, I just meant I'm gonna stop talking. Pastel. Yes? You've presented me quite the conundrum. If I kiss you now, you definitely want to return home with me as soon as possible. But I wasn't done learning all about you. I'm not ready for a date to end. Oh, that is the conundrum. Yes, you see, both options can be equally appealing. However, can I decide? Well, it's still light out. Maybe we can hold back until after dinner. After dinner. Or I could have you for dinner. Okay, every time. On the other hand, you bring up a valid point. Holding back is fun in itself. Do you expect me to recover after what you just said? See, this is quite fun. It's decided that the date continues. I give Pastel a moment to calm himself. We walk up to the railing and look out at the town. You can see Atelier Suites from here and the train station next to it. My house is somewhere in a row of similarly built homes, inconspicuous. Fallen petals litter the bricks at our feet, with every little breeze carrying a few more over the railing to land somewhere unknown. After watching them for a while, I turn back to Pastel. Tell me about your magic. Okay, what do you want to know? Your specialty, my dear, or just dear, I guess. I'm so used to people saying my sweet, So I want to say my dear. Elementary, I'm just reminded of Sherlock Holmes now. Elementary, my dear Watson. Anyway, if you're that good at reconstruction, I imagine it must fall somewhere in that category. Not really. I'm actually an astro witch. An astro witch? Oh, hey, Risa. Someone needs to go to horny jail? Yeah, Periwinkle needs to be bonked multiple times at this point. Anyway. Oh my, how rare. And what exactly does that entail for you? Well, I mostly use it for fire spells like anyone else. Oh yes, of course, fire spells. Just as we all know, just casual fire spells. Forgive me, I'm not very well versed in magic theory, but doesn't astral magic have something to do with creation? It does, but that stuff is pretty advanced. I haven't been able to find any books explaining how to use it. Which is probably for the best, actually. No one should be able to go around creating souls spontaneously. You just create souls. Pastel rubs the back of his neck, looking off into the distance. He seems so troubled by the subject. I suppose because he'd been living without magic, it may feel strange to openly discuss it. Actually, I can't remember. What was the plot of Syrup in the Ultimate Suite? Was it, maybe it has something to do with souls? Anyway, that might be a spoiler actually. I don't know. Anyway, I can't remember. But maybe it has something to do with that. An astral witch, though. I wouldn't have guessed. Putting two and two together, one thing makes perfect sense now. So the famous Ulterior Sweets Golem was your creation. Okay. Well, it's been a while, but I guess yeah, that's what happened, I think. He created the candy golem in that game. If you didn't know. Is she really that famous? I expect our sales to be a little better if that were the case. But yeah, just don't go around telling everyone. I didn't know what I was doing when I made her. What an amazing feat. And you sound almost ashamed of it. Well, you see, in that game, there was multiple endings where she just literally dies, so it doesn't end very good sometimes in different timelines. Anyway, it's not like I regret it or anything. Gumjar is really great. I feel bad that she's stuck in a body with so many limitations. Like, she didn't ask to be made that way, but she is very delicious, though. You could literally eat her. I think, wasn't that the plot, actually? I believe the plot in Syrup in the Ultimate Sweet, the other game by Nomnomnami, where Pastel is from. I think initially the golem was made to be eaten, you know? But obviously, you shouldn't do that if you want to get like a happy ending. I didn't know you could even make golems that felt real emotions, so of course I never considered any of that. Sorry to go off about it. I've just been feeling guilty lately. Kind of a heavy topic. No, thank you for telling me. It's as if I discovered a whole new side of you today. I'm grateful to know it. Thanks for listening. I don't get many chances to talk about things like this, so I'm grateful for it too. Hearing you speak of her though, I'd love to meet this golem of yours one day. Sure, maybe one day. Pastel's amazing. I never met anyone who would downplay their talents this much. I could ask 1,000 questions and still only scratch the surface. Now I'm the unsatiable one. How the tables have turned. We decided it's time to move on and ascend the stairs from whence we came, still chatting endlessly as we decide where we'll wander to next. Over dinner, Pastel opens up a little more. We trade anecdotes, listening intently to each other's stories no matter how unremarkable the events told within them. I could never tire of it. I was hooked by his every word. At last the hours flew by and our day together was quickly approaching its end. But now we had the whole night to look forward to. The sun was on its way down as we emerged back onto the street. The atmosphere so different than it had been just a short while ago. Pastel brushes his bangs aside and asks, "Do you want to head back now? It's starting to get late." You waited so patiently to be able to say that. It's not like you're on the thick of it too. Let's go through the park. It's a shorter walk. Sure, after you. Perico extends his hand, which Pastel takes without hesitation. Under cover of dusk, they walk toward the park with fingers gently intertwined. Oh my, that's even more lewd. Hand-holding? Degenerates. No, this park during twilight hours is nearly always deserted. Tonight was no exception. We had the entire place to ourselves. This way I can cling to Pastel all I want. On top of that... What are you smiling about? Finally, no one's around. We can talk about all the inappropriate things we want. I knew there was something dangerous about taking the shortcut. It's okay then, right? No one will overhear your lascivious confessions, or lascivious? How do you say lascivious? Lascivious confessions. Okay, what do you want to know? Why do you think you actually agree? I don't have anything prepared. What, really? How anticlimactic. Unless you're dying to tell me how much you love being dommed. Okay. I'm not gonna say that. Is that how the relationship works then? Periwinkle's the top and... Anyway. Any fetishes then? I have experience of all sorts, you know. This is too much. I need to sit down. Pastel begins to retreat to a nearby bench. Are you perhaps into fooling around outdoors? That's illegal. That's illegal, you know. That's illegal, you know. That's a quote from like Zelda CDI, I think. You know, that's illegal, you know. Only kidding. Periwinkle follows Pastel to the bench and sits down beside him, leaning his head on his shoulder. Your sweatshirt is so warm. Are you upset with me for suggesting such a scandalous idea? No, but if you cling to me too much, I'm worried I might change my mind. That's illegal. Don't do it. I wouldn't want to compromise your morals, but I also hate to let go. Pastel laughs at that, resigned to his fate. The pair sits in comfortable silence for a while, listening only to the sound of the fountain before them. Periwinkle can start to feel himself being lulled to sleep by it, and so he tries speaking up again. I don't know what it is about you, Pastel. We've talked all day, yet I still don't feel like it's enough. I didn't really expect to be out this late either. It just kind of happened. Too many hearts and yeah, Periwinkle just uses a lot of hearts. I don't know. This was all supposed to be foreplay, wasn't it? Forgive me for putting it so bluntly. I guess it was. Pastel, we have to get back to my place. Pastel, we have to get back to my place so I can fuck you. Yes. Man, this is a lot looter. Nomnomnami is a lot looter of the script than their previous games, is all I'm saying. You're really being so blunt right now. We have to. It's the purpose of foreplay, isn't it? How could you have let it go on this long? We could head back right now. Yes. You're gonna have to stand up first. In a moment. But trapped in the comfortable position of that bench, Periwinkle is unable to stand in the end. Instead, he falls asleep with the sounds of the fountain and Pastel's beating heart. Good. And they just slept in the park. No? Okay, no. No, they did make it back home. Periwinkle wakes up in his bed the next morning, alone. Isn't that like that's like a cliche, isn't it? They wake up alone. Oh no. They ran away, no? Pastel? No response. No evidence of him either, none of his clothes laying about, no blankets out of place. I'm wearing pajamas, though I don't remember changing into them. In fact, I don't remember coming home at all. Did I fall asleep there? Oh, maybe, no, I was wondering if Periwinkle, and I wonder if it was another like fade to black, we don't see any of the other bits. But, maybe Periwinkle did actually fall asleep, and then he carried him home, maybe? That's what it is? I vaguely remember being carried, but... He pauses, and then suddenly throws the covers off himself and leaps from bed. He truly isn't here. He changed my clothes. Was I conscious for that? I fell asleep before we could... This is just such crass language. I fell asleep before we could fuck. Oh no. What's the point? Periwinkle paces around his room, desperately running around through the events of the previous night. We were on our way here. We stopped to rest, but it was so comfortable that Oh, this is unheard of. This is the first time something like this ever happened. It was such a nice day together. The perfect date, really. It should have ended with a bang. Literally a bang. Normally it would have to. We both very much wanted it to. So how could I let myself fall asleep like that? No, there's no need to panic. I simply lost track of time. We've been walking around all day. Of course I would be worn out by the end of it. I should have accounted for that. A simple mistake. One that completely nullified all the tension I so gradually built up. Had I gotten lost in the performance then, the romantic flourish meant only to heighten the intensity of the passionate night to come. It's roleplay. It's just role-playing. It's just role-playing, bro. Pretend. The only thing genuine about it is the lust that it masks. For me, I had to reach the point of satisfaction before the intended finale would mean it was just a legitimate romantic date. Oh no. Travesty. Periwinkle stops in his tracks. He turns back toward his bed and crawls under the covers, wrapping himself up in them. Have I ever had one of those before? I mean, I certainly don't ever expect every day to end in a sexual encounter. Sometimes a partner just isn't ready, or something comes up. It isn't the sex that was old. No, it's just that we never even reached the bedroom. That's never happened. The thought sinks in. Periwinkle slowly unwraps himself from his blankets and sits up in bed. I'm overreacting. Yes, I'm merely embarrassed I had to be carried home and tucked away into bed. To be taken care of like that. Usually I'm the one who takes care of things, quote unquote. Now I just feel ridiculous. Something isn't right here. There has to be an explanation. It's safe to admit at this point that I'm very sensitive to matters that involve Pastel. Where did that begin? It could have started just the other day. Things were relatively normal, though I was seeing him quite often, more so than the other partners in the past. This has progressed too far beyond casual. What could have caused this? Well, for one, your creator, the developer ships you two, so it's too late. You've been destined to be in a relationship. Risa, suddenly not the top anymore. I see. He thinks for a moment before walking out of his bedroom with purposeful strides. Maybe he's a switch. Anyway, going immediately to the bookcase, he tosses a few things aside and pulls down the box of his favorite perfumes. He then carefully extracts the bottle filled with pale pink liquid. You must be the culprit. This aphrodisiac, no, love potion. It's a real love potion. I wanted to see Pastel's reaction when I called it that. Inconsequential little joke was kept coming up. There must be something to it. Could the peach blossoms yesterday have further amplified its effects? Yes, it all makes sense now. It's magic. It's all just magic from my potion. Whether it be my own magic or some kind of chain reaction of pastels, I've somehow unintentionally created a scent that invokes romantic obsession in witches. There's research to be done. I have to put an end to these artificially inspired feelings. They're just artificially inspired feelings, not real. I'll create an anti-aphrodisiac then, something to cancel its effects. Well, that's called, an anti-aphrodisiac. That's called not showering for for a year or something. I don't know. Or at least even a month, I guess. Don't take a bath for a month. That's called an anti-aphrodisiac. Anyway, at which point everything go back to normal. Then there's no problem at all. Convinced by his new theory, Periwinkle dresses himself and heads out to find a solution. Okay, how silly. How silly that he thinks it's a love potion that caused this. You know what? Okay, fine, that'll work. Just be a cat boy. Why not? I head directly to the potion supply shop just a few blocks away. It's brimming with reference materials, though I usually only come to purchase magic containers, the vials that hold my perfumes. Navigating their shelves of spell manuals and encyclopedias, I find myself somewhat overwhelmed, but soon the shopkeeper comes to my aid. Okay, it's a new person actually. Amarati? Good afternoon, Periwinkle, and what might you be looking for today? New bottles, a book, or perhaps me? You're quite the flirt as well. I guess all of Periwinkle's friends tend to be flirts. Except maybe, what's her name? I can't remember her name. Her name's so complicated. But the one at the apothecary. I don't know why I can't remember her name. Her name is just so, I don't know. It's just hard to pronounce if I don't look at it in the text. Anyway, Amarati, it's lovely to see you, but I'm strictly here for business. Playing the professional today, I see. You're lost. Few witches have ever come close to my level of flirty energy, but Amarati is one of them. We may have fooled around the party once or twice, but who's to say? As much as her company would be a welcome distraction, I'm afraid removing my self-inflicted curse takes priority. There is actually something you can help me with. But first, would you happen to know anything about aphrodisiacs? Aphrodisiacs, magic that sways the heart, stimulates the libido. Is that how you say it? Libido? 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 They do end up being classified as dark magic because of these manipulative aspects, but a few popular spellbooks happen to contain instructions for consensual usage. Is that what you're looking for? Yes, or rather, assuming those books also contain instructions for cancelling the effects. Does something go wrong in the bedroom? You could tell me, nothing to get embarrassed about. No, it's much more complicated than that. Which spells books did you say I could find this information in? I like to look through them if possible. You're lying to me, aren't you? You just want to learn these spells to spice things up in the bedroom. Well, not everything is related to sex, Amarati. Love, then? Well, no, you aren't the type. Come on, why won't you just tell me? I can't help if you won't give up any details. All I want to know is whether or not aphrodisiac-induced feelings of romantic love can be nullified. The details aren't important. So it is love. Why does she insist on wasting my time? A large resounding thud from down the aisle stars both Amarati and Periwinkle. The pair turns to see a much shorter witch standing there fuming. Okay, okay. If I have to listen to you two how you say that? Ignoramuses? I don't know how to say that word. If I have to listen to you two idiots babble on for another second, I'm gonna lose it. There was another customer here. How long have they been listening? First off,
Stop conflating aphrodisiacs and love potions. They're entirely separate categories. A witch who sells potion supplies should at least know that much. You sell a whole book about it right here.
She gestures to a thick tome she had slammed to the floor at the beginning of her outburst. So that's the one I was thinking of. You'll find everything you didn't know about casting your love spell in there, Periwinkle.
No, you won't.
You won't?
Because it's not a frickin' love spell to begin with. I find it majorly unlikely someone's been able to pull off a spell like that when I've been trying for literally years.
Well, thank you. That certainly answers my question. Since you're familiar with these things, I must ask, if it's not a love spell, could it have been a side effect of some other type of magic?
A side effect? You think it's so easy to be tacked on just like that? A placebo effect's more like it, in which case all you need to do is stop thinking about it and go away, dumbass.
So is this person? Oh really? That saved me so much trouble. Thanks for the advice.
If that shopkeeper would have research, nobody knows.
The witch's angry shouts fade into placated mumble as she storms out of the shop. Who is that person? I don't know who that person is. Why did they... I don't know. It's very mysterious. You handled that so well. You should work in retail. Oh, so I'm in the one of a new career now? After that exchange? Everybody gives a nervous laugh and steps away to return the spellbook to its proper shelf. After bidding her farewell, Periwinkle exits the store to begin his short walk home. A placebo? Of course it was just a placebo. I should have thought of it sooner. There was never any cause for alarm. This is just like before. Has nothing to do with Pastel, totally nothing to do with that. He just happens to be the one my mind's fixating on. It's precisely as that temperamental little witch said. If I stop thinking about it, the problem will resolve in its own heart. Okay. He's gonna need an anti-burn potion after that? I guess so. And so I must take a few days to focus on myself. At least until I find my way out of this odd state I've ended up in.